Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Transitions for More. I'm your host, Mike Urko, a Marine Corps veteran. I've returned from Iraq and faced the challenges of PTSD, addiction, and grief to create a new life that is balanced and healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Each episode, I'll share some of my journey or interview inspiring veterans and subject matter experts to help us find that purpose and connection we all crave. You guys can follow the show on Instagram at Transitions for More. Join our TFW page on Facebook, Twitter, and transitionsformore.com. If you have any questions, comments, or topic ideas, feel free to email me at mike@transitionsformore.com. If you guys enjoy the show, please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. All right, enough of that. Let's get to the show. And we're back. Back on the show. Rich, what's up, dude? How you been, man?
I'm all right. I mean, life's good, other than this like a war thing that's going on.
Other than the country neighboring you invading the country you just visited.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be in.
Yeah.
And my wife is from a country that is currently allowing them to invade from their territory.
Yeah, so that makes it tough.
Yeah, and it's an interesting situation, and there's all these like, I don't know, man, it's just weird. It's like, I think everyone's going to be affected by it.
Yeah,
because it's a historic step. I don't know which is the right way to say that, but yeah, not a funny thing, but yeah, so that's happening. But other than that, like, I want to focus on mostly keeping, mental health in such a time.
Yeah.
And then, the steps and things. So I finished the 3 months no drinking, and then promptly started drinking again to where I was like, I think I'm going to probably just cut it,
Well, sometimes that's a good thing, because like you go without it for a while and then you try something and you're like, yeah, no, it doesn't work. And it just kind of confirms it for you. So
yeah. So I think I'm probably just going to, stay for the most part, not drinking. The good news is the sun came out.
The
sun is
nice.
Here. Yeah, we've had 3 days with blue skies. I almost don't know what to do.
Do people from Estonia just like walk outside and like bask in it like a lizard?
It's kind of that way. I mean, not exactly like that, but yeah, in a sense, like most of the summer holidays are all about getting out of the house. Like, Estonians really like to be outdoors, so it's all about like once the sun is there, and they're outside in nature usually,
Yeah, I get it, man. I get it.
Yeah, I'm doing couch to 5K again, and then trying to take long walks with the kid on the days that I'm not doing couch to 5K, and pushing a stroller with a 20-pound kid in it. I can hit zone 2. So it's somehow the shape,
especially if you're going uphill.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. This is like right now, let's say just in general, is kind of a weird time because football has ended, baseball hasn't started, duck season has ended, and other seasons have not started. So it's the in between right now.
So no sports. That's cool.
As I pull up my little dachshund here, it's a kind of in between time. And just, man, I've been pretty obsessed with the whole invasion of Ukraine. Just looking at that, reading up on it. A lot of back and forth with other Marines being like, hey man, you gonna go volunteer and like go over there and fuck up some Russians? And I mean, obviously I'm not going.
Yeah.
But just the idea of it, I was like, yeah, there's a part of that I would really enjoy doing. But
I'd be lying if I told you that I did not bring that up to my wife. Like I definitely said something, and she was like, "Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have had a kid if you wanted to do that." You know what I mean? And she's right. Like my first duty right now is to my kid.
Exactly.
And to her, you know. So like, but there is a part of me, and you know what's funny is all of the educated part, like the part that's working on a PhD that has got a degree from Berkeley in political economy, is like, and the part that's talked to Estonians, right? Like there's, I always thought that I had a kind of a bit of a problem with our volunteer force when you had like people doing 4 tours.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of the country doing their service by like going to the mall. All right. Yeah. So I'm just gonna preface this with that. But then I talked to these guys who were conscripts over here.
Yeah.
And even in a NATO country, it's kind of a joke, you know?
Oh, really?
It's like, yeah, I mean, everyone kind of does their time, but the level of training that they put in just they can't do the same. They have them for like a year, or they like train them for some active reserve time, and then they go, you know. Russia's different. Russia does 2 years conscription, and for the first year, and I doubt it's changed, but the way it used to be, like when we were in, is you get drafted when you're 18. For the first year, you just get the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, right.
It's like a literal haze fest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second year, you just beat the shit out of other people. And anything that would require any trust, like anything that's in our military, would be like aircraft maintenance or something.
Yeah.
They would give to officers or like warrant officers, any technical position, any of that. So their conscripts are just they're kids, and they don't get 3 months of boot camp plus 6 or 8 weeks of infantry training plus like SOP training.
Yeah.
Or they don't get 3 months of boot camp, 3 weeks of MCT. I think it's longer now. I don't know.
Yeah, the training's not there.
School. Yeah, and they're just kids. It's like, so the part that's like educated on all this stuff is like, well, that wouldn't do anything anyway. Yeah. But then there's that part that went through all of that boot camp and that MCT and all of that shit is like, this is the war I trained for. Yeah. Why are we not there already? Hello.
Exactly. Know, especially it's given a weird your set of skills.
Yeah. It's just a weird situation. And to have been there a month ago is weird.
Yeah, no
kidding. Because I don't know, man. It was a really cool city. That's why I don't know. I started like a podcast that it's just me ranting. And I started with the episode on Ukraine because I've been planning to start this thing for like months. And the idea is kind of to help me just get better at making complex things more understandable, like lecturing essentially.
Yeah.
Because I have to do it for work. And so like trying to do less ADHD hopping around shit and more like do. But you know, I just couldn't, I had to kind of get it out. And so I recorded something and asked someone, hey, do you find value in this? They listened to it and said, yes. I haven't put on like all the stuff that the accoutrement that goes with the podcast, like the music at the front and the back. And
oh yeah. You need the intro music with a guy announcing it. Shit.
Yeah. And welcome to
coming at you live from Estonia. It's Rich Drilling.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't have all that, but I did an episode on Ukraine and how, like, because when I was in the States, dude, I didn't realize really the difference between Ukraine and Russia. And I know people get all upset, but you just can't be aware of everything. You just can't. I'm sorry, but you can't.
You can't.
And as a Russian linguist, even hanging out with a bunch of different Ukrainians and Russians, at Cal and going to the culture club, like, the differences in all those post-Soviet countries and the Soviet Union and Russia, none of it made sense to me. So that first episode is me just kind of going through that shit, you know.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to hear that. Like, really,
I hope it's useful to somebody, you know. But I'm hoping to get some of my Eastern European friends on so they can explain things from their perspective. Like,
That would be really interesting, man. I'm genuinely fascinated by this. So what's the name of your show?
It's the RD3 show right now.
I
The
like it.
RD3, because it's like, there's RG3.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna
then I
say.
got my grandpa actually. So like I was the first one who hopped on Facebook with my name. So I got Prime Real Estate.
Yeah.
And my grandpa has all these ancient friends. They're all Trump supporters. And I was posting some stuff. Before I decided to try not to use Facebook,
Yeah.
I was posting some shit. And my grandpa like actually called me and he's like, "Hey, can you change your name on Facebook?" And I was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And so he unfriended me. All of his friends, I guess, thought that all the non like yay Trump posts were coming from him. It's like, bro, look at the freaking look at the profile picture. That's what it's there for.
Dude, you were hurting his game, man.
Yeah, so I messed up his game. So now I'm claiming the 3 again, because otherwise it's going to create some static in my family. And
they're going to call your grandpa up. Hey, this new podcast is really fascinating, but it's not mine.
Well, like, you didn't call them commies. I don't understand why
you sound so much younger. It's almost like you have a son and a grandson, but that wouldn't make sense.
With the exact same name. But yeah. So yeah, man, that's all that really. And then, the same working and stuff. Let me ask you this. Are you training during this like time off?
Yeah. We started with some basic stuff for me, because it's been hard. It's just mentally hard to get excited about training. And so we went back to like what I love about it, and just treating each training session as an event. I just look at that, not like look at the fact that I have to do hundreds and hundreds of these until a race, but looking at like that, and then just doing it. We went so simple because I was missing so many of them before. My coach just set it up, and I read the description for this bike workout. It's like, mate, I don't care if he's Australian. He's like, I don't care if you just sit on your bike for 10 minutes and watch TV. Just do that at least.
Get on the bike. That's the important part. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I totally, completely, I had him as a coach for like 2 weeks, and then I burned out and just broke and haven't run a triathlon since. I'm trying to get back there. This year, I'd like to at least run an Olympic. And finish a 60K, but I'm okay walking that. I don't give a shit. It's just to get out. It's a trail 60K. Wow. And it's really about that journey. Yeah. So I don't give a shit. I'm going to ask them how the cutoff time is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come in at that cutoff time.
Nice.
If I can, I'm training couch to 5K right now. So running is probably not going to be an option, but I think coming in before the cutoff is, I'm not going to completely Joanna Penn this shit where she just walks, like she'll join an ultra race and then just walk the whole thing. I'll try to run a little bit, but we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'm doing couch to 5K. So I'm with you there, like starting at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I like the kind of, it sounds like you have a mindful approach to it almost.
Yeah, I have to. I sat down with my coach and we're trying to figure out what's going to actually work, because I mean, physically, I know I can do it. I've done it. Right. So it's just, it's some mental hang up. And I've actually I don't know if we talked about this on the show before. Hold on. I'm not sure if we talked about this on the show before, but I've talked to a lot of different triathletes and endurance athletes who said since the pandemic started, they just had a lot of difficulty actually training or getting excited about training or anything. And my hypothesis on that is that when times are stressful, that people kind of withdraw into themselves rather than expand and do more things. It's just kind of like an ancient lizard brain, withdrawn to safety kind of thing.
I think you're right, man. I actually, okay, this is going to sound ADHD, but I'm going to get right back to what you're talking about.
I like these journeys. Go for it.
So I knew a guy who was at the language school with me. I found out many years later that he was actually in 2003, who was being piloted basically to send him to learn Arabic at DLI
Okay.
so that he could go and be a translator for like an infantry company commander.
Okay.
So he did his time at the language school and then went to Iraq. And I think he did like maybe 1 or 2 tours. And I want to say afterward he contracted, but he got out before the rest of us because he had a 4-year contract and we all had 5.
I see.
But he was born in Michigan, but he was born to Iranian parents.
Oh, wow.
All right. Now, and I'm just going to come out and say this because all the hippies, like everyone, I don't know. Like, I do believe that there was some racism toward him in our country, like at that time, because he was, he looked Muslim.
Yeah.
And people just, they were treated him like okay and they were cool with him, but there was always like a little bit of a,
like a reservation.
Keeping him at an arm's distance or yeah. But I mean, he was a cool guy and he was a Midwest guy. So I always liked him, but he ended up getting out and then long story short, went to Iran to visit his grandmother or grandfather. One of them was ill and he ended up getting rolled up as a spy, sentenced to death. Then, and the way Iran looks at it is if you're of like Persian descent, if you're of Iranian blood, you're a citizen. Even if you don't have a passport, you're their citizen. So by serving in the U.S. military and contracting, he was essentially like spying for the enemy is what they said. And then they said that he was like spying, when he was there. And that was why he went. And so he was in captivity for, I believe, like 4 or 5 years.
Jesus.
He ended up that Iran nuclear deal that Obama signed was what got him released. And so when the pandemic started, he used his experience and he was like, listen, guys, you have to do something to like snap yourself out of it every single day. Like something in your routine has to snap you out of it whenever you possibly can. So what he did was when he was in captivity, they kept him in like it's technically torture. What they were doing, they kept him in solitary confinement for like 2 years or some shit like that. And he would get out for like a certain period of exercise. I can't remember the length of time. And then he would get a shower. Like I want to say maybe every day, but like a really short one.
Yeah.
And instead of turning it on hot, he turned that thing as cold as he could get to just take control of something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so since all this has started, I try to shower every day. I shave every day, like it's the Marine Corps again. Even on leaving Liberty or having a real life, but like, it's just something. So if you can meditate, if you can do anything, any type of like small thing, or there was like it was like a meme or something that my wife showed me where it was like someone be like, I'm taking a stupid walk for my stupid mental health. But like that's exactly, it's exactly it. It's really hard. Like what's one of the best part of those races is like being with other people, right? Like you're getting all these endorphins and the not dopamine, serotonin, right?
Yeah.
Because dopamine is the addictive one and you can get addicted to exercise, but it's different, I think.
Yeah.
In addiction science is what I've heard. I can't cite that for you, but.
So having a routine, something you do every day, regardless, I can see that as kind of some kind of grounding, something that gives you structure, that it like anchors you in that day that you're going to, go from that day to the next day to the next day where you do that thing.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that a lot.
And that was his thing. And there was other shit that happened afterward. Like he was in the news where he was supposed to get some settlement. And then that racism part came into play, like in the previous administration and whatever. So, but that doesn't matter. But his point he was spot on like trying to take control of like one thing that grounds you every day. And for you, that can be training, meditation. I don't know. It's really hard to do all these habits when it's like every day kind of bleeds into the next one, You
It
know?
is. Yeah. I think I'm going to start that. I had that for a little while, but I'm going to start it back up and just have it as push-ups, you know, 20 push-ups. And I'll probably end up doing more as time
Mhm.
goes along, but I'm going to make it, simple. So it's doable. I just do that in the morning and then I have it checked off. So it's not like an additional stressor, right?
Mhm. Yeah. And then you start out with a win.
Yeah.
Like when I was starting this stuff back in 17, that Joe Rogan shake or the
Yeah.
smoothie? It
Yeah. The
was
kale
like
shake.
celery, kale, uh, ginger, garlic,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and a pear, I think. And I was doing that. And the reason I did that is because, I mean, you chug down a garlic shake first thing in the morning, other than your breath being great. Have fun
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think he said it one time. He was like, yeah, like if you do that, like you've already won the day. Like you start the day with a win. You do whatever habit you're starting. If you
Yeah.
knock that out first thing, man, it's
Make it an
good.
easy win. Yeah. It's something to build off
Yes.
of. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Uh who's it? Our buddy Josh. I'm not gonna state his last name, but he was explaining to me like, all right, so if you're gonna have a reading habit, that first step should be like, I'm gonna open a book.
Yes,
And if
exactly.
as long as you hit that easy win, then hey, dude, you're doing it. You know what I mean? Like we were saying, and I this helped me lose some weight, but I've put it back on, or I've put some back on, not all of it. But if we were going to order food, we had to get a salad,
Yeah.
and we start the meal with a salad. It helps crowd out the bad, but it
Yeah.
also
Uh-huh.
it's a small win, even if you're slamming down a Big Mac afterward. Like
Yeah.
at least you're gonna shit properly. Like I don't know, dude. Like so you're doing mindful. Are you picking up every single day working out? How are you doing this?
No, this is starting out just 4 days a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's and it's without heart monitor, without really anything. It's the equivalent of like opening a book.
Okay. So you're removing all of the barriers to entry,
Yeah.
really.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I recently cleaned out around the area where my bike is in my garage. So
Oh, that's beautiful.
less barriers. Yeah.
When
So
I'm gonna tell something that's kind of gross, but when I was single guy in California, like so my kitchen, I had a 1 bedroom apartment, in like a not like a super posh, it was just kind of a shitty 1 bedroom. It was built in the 60s.
yeah.
And the way that I did that was I hooked in my clipless pedals on the
Yeah.
bike, and I would leave my bike shorts and my like hat because I didn't have the proper fan set up and all that shit.
Uh-huh.
So I would just put a hat there, and like everything that I needed would be like basically on the bike,
Yeah.
so that I could like stumble out of bed, like take off my boxers and just throw on the shorts and fucking
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It was like literally every bear, the water was next to it, everything was done. So it was just go.
Yeah. That's smart.
That helps, man. It helps.
This wasn't the place where you lived right by the crack smoking magician, was it?
Oh no, that place, I don't think I wouldn't have been able to open a window there. So
We gotta tell that story sometime on the podcast. But yes, Rich
Oh,
Rich
yeah,
had a neighbor
yeah.
who was a crack smoking magician, and it was
Yes.
beautiful.
He was really great at making things disappear. He was a good magician too. That's like, it's really sad when you see somebody who's very charismatic
Yeah.
and then you just see like substance abuse and mental health issues take them down.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's rough. The same thing was kind of with my cousin, the one who had the face tattoos that I was talking
Uh-huh.
about. Because like, man, I watched a video of him that someone posted after he died, and even with all these face tattoos and stuff, he was still like really charismatic. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
would like listen to him, even if he was like, "Yeah, man, like I need like $10 for gas to get blah blah." Like I don't know, you would just listen to him.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like he was making a joke about how they need to have reparations, but for Bloods, because he was a gang guy.
Nice. Dude, did he have were his face tattoos? Were they like a insane clown posse? Was it like
Oh,
that?
no insane clown posse. He didn't go that deep.
You didn't have juggalo tattoos? Because that's a
No.
special look. I've seen that with some people. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, talk about people who want to redo.
Dude, I had a buddy who also killed himself. We're seeing a trend here. Who had a great Malenko tattoo on his forearm.
Oh yeah.
And like the little the ICP logo from like that Great Malenko album, for those who are not affiliated. And I did a show at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy in the Mall of America when I was like maybe 2 or 3 years into comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I thought I was hilarious. And it was like some dark shit, like telling JFK jokes and shit. But like I had like my family was, how like some comics when they're doing a show for like stage time just to work on a skill or whatever, they'll riff with the audience.
Yeah.
Like my family was the people that they talk shit to. And my buddy Eric, the one who had that tattoo, they were like, oh shit, man. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I was making fun of your hair. Now I see that great Malenko tattoo. And do me a favor, don't shoot me after the show. Please don't knife me. Like, just like, damn, dude. But whew, yeah. Magicians making shit disappear. That happens. It happens. Especially when crack's involved.
Don't do crack, kids.
Yeah, don't do crack. That place got condemned after that ghost ship fire.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was totally illegal. I actually thought that was the place when that fire happened. I was like, oh shit. And then
shout out
fire
to the city of Oakland.
Yeah.
To lose their third sports team within 10 years.
The A's?
Yeah. I think they're going to Vegas, man.
The A's are going to go to Vegas.
I think so.
And the Warriors they're still over there, right? Or
they're
no?
in San Francisco. They left Oakland.
They left. So who's playing in that stadium? Not the stadium, but the arena there.
Oh, I'll tell you what, right? It's like just musical performances. I went there to see Disney on Ice over the weekend with the kids.
We go hard.
Yeah,
we go hard. Yo, we're going to East Oakland. We got Disney on Ice.
We got Disney on Ice, my man Mickey. No, they got who do they have? Snoop, Dre, Ice Cube, and E40 coming out like this spring. So
oh dude. Yeah. I would love to see that concert, but not there, I think.
Yeah, it would be hard. I couldn't drive back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'd have to sit in my car for 8 hours until like I got the contact high off.
Yes, that would be. And Bart would be sketch too. There's probably for that concert, there's probably like the whole police force of Oakland will be catching overtime.
Oh yeah, man. Be like a Raiders game.
What's funny though is that's gonna be like a bunch of 40-year-old people. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that audience anymore. It's gonna be like like
that's funny. That's
people acting
like
hard.
I saw this meme about the Super Bowl halftime show. Like a lot of us, born from like 80 to 90 or 75 to 90 were like, hey man, like finally they did a show, with the younger for younger people, and it's not like Rolling Stones or all that stuff. It's finally something not for old people. And then 10 seconds later, it hit us.
Like, oh crap.
Yeah, we are the old people now. Yeah.
Oh God, we are the old.
Yeah. So I think for our show today, I think the take home message is, find a ritual that like really anchors you in the day, something simple to do, just puts you outside of your zone a little bit, but of just regular bullshit. Like for me, it's going to be some push-ups, but don't make it too hard that it becomes a stressful event that you want to avoid.
Yeah, it's got to be something that's an easy win. Like that's the purpose, is to build momentum, easy win. If you're a writer, sit down and try to write 250 words. If you're trying to read, open a book. If you're trying to meditate, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we got to talk about that email that dude sent.
Oh, dude, do you want to read it? Or do you want me to read it?
If I'll have you, if you wouldn't mind, because
let me pull it up. Yeah, that was a good one, dude.
It was good, and it's good to hear from a listener. I feel like I need to clarify my comments after that. I was like, did I really say that? I went back and listened to the episode and I was like, I said that.
Yep, you did, man.
Guess who's
So-
not going to be running for political office?
Oh God, I already knew that for myself. So
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So we got an email from Blake, listener of the show, friend of the show. Hey, fellas, my name is Blake, and I have a valuable story I wanted to share with you, inspired by Mike's experience of passing the 200-pound mark for the first time. During these less active COVID times, I too experienced a maiden crossing of the 200-pound threshold on the scale. I'm 39 years old. I'm 5'9" on a good day, and I've always seen 200 pounds as a distant number, which would mark someone in my height as, in the words of Rich, a fat ass. That first digit on the scale has been a 1 for the past few decades. It's not supposed to change. There's a 2 there now? What the fuck? Hitting the 200 mark and approaching the 40-year-old mark, I'm grappling with some emotionally charged round number milestones. Is this just the inevitable march of time and fat? Should I just resign myself to the dad bod, live my life, and let the cards fall as they may? I may not have control over my age or COVID restrictions, but I do have some control over my physical activity and my food intake. I've been trying to lose a little weight, mostly by time-honored method of eating less food and exercising more. I find the eating less food part to be the biggest challenge, but as I've worked on mindfulness in recent years, it's become a little easier to control myself when I try. So I've been trying recently, and I've gotten some results. Exclamation mark there. The other day, I woke up and stepped on the scale for the first time, first thing in the morning, 200.1 pounds. Damn, so close. With a mixture of frustration and determination, and just woke up grogginess in my head, I went and made myself some morning coffee. Yeah, you know where this is going. That coffee loosened me up a little bit as it does. Short time later, I made my way to the bathroom. I took care of some business. Then I stepped back on that scale. Lo and behold, 199.5. Oh, yeah. This may have been the most satisfying dump of my life. 0.6 pounds of success right there, my friends. Hashtag success turd. This brings up a few questions, though. What other weird things do you and your listeners do to trick the scale, aka fight shame feelings by telling little stories to yourself like, ooh, I took a dump and now I can say I lost some weight? How do we mentally strike a balance between accepting where we're at but striving for improvement? And maybe most importantly, can you pinpoint the most satisfying dump you've ever taken in your lives? Here's to small victories. Best of luck with your 2022 goals. Thanks for your continued service to our country and our vets. From Blake.
Well, thanks. I'm first of all glad that us talking here is helping at least one person.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, thanks,
thanks
man.
for the email, Blake. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. What a threshold too. Like to be right on the edge there and come back down to the ones.
That's beautiful. Do you got any? I have a couple things, but what do you got?
First
of all, the best dump. Can you recall?
I need to think of that one.
God, the only ones I can think of is when you finally get one out after a fucking field X or being in the field and eating MREs.
I'll just say it usually involves like there not being a bathroom around and you're just like going into emergency mode and then finding it and then just like,
oh yeah, being glad that you found a bathroom. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That feels like just
who we're talking. Okay, guys, today we have mindfulness in your daily life. Make sure you are practicing something mindful. You want to sit down and breathe for 3 minutes. Oh, yeah. And when you got to take a shit, make sure you're really appreciative that you found a bathroom.
Yeah, man. To his questions, though, of like, how do you strike that balance between like not, metaphorically shitting on yourself but striving for improvement? So I think there needs to be a level of acceptance of like, okay, here I am, just like, what we hope all our second lieutenants do when they get lost in the field inevitably, right? Like, I should be here. We should be at this checkpoint. Well, sir, we're not.
Yeah.
Accept that. We fucked up, maybe.
We're not even in Verona Loop anymore.
Exactly. We made our way to Swansboro, or maybe we're in Sneed's Ferry.
Exactly. Like, or maybe we're in Sneed's Ferry. Yeah. It's a very Lejeune joke, but yeah, I agree with you there. That's a difficult balance. The analogy that comes to mind is that the book that I actually haven't read of his, but good old Jocko has that book called is it Dichotomy of Leadership?
Economy of leadership. Yeah. He has that and
Yeah.
extreme ownership.
In extreme ownership. I mean, in extreme ownership, he does talk about like balancing things, but that's not like the thesis of the book. You know what I mean? He's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that is a difficult thing to do. Do you have any specific strategies for that you do in your daily life? Because I kind of struggle with this one.
Shout out to another Navy SEAL, David Goggins, reaching in the cookie jar. So you have your list of accomplishments and things you've done before that are difficult or things you're proud of. And you say, okay, I've done some shit. I've done some things I can be proud of. Basically, I know I can improve, right? I know I can do difficult things. So you call on those experiences and the strength that you had because you've done those things. Say, okay, I'm not necessarily where I want to be today, but what's one thing I can do today? One thing that will get me closer, and look at it as more of like each individual step, not necessarily I'm so far from, what my goal is, because that gets disheartening. That's like looking at the top of the mountain and be like, I'm not there. All right,
Sometimes you just gotta
take a step.
Feet. Yep, and go one step at a time. I like that.
And if you're looking at, it's like doing an Ironman and just thinking about the finish line the whole time, that would be miserable. And it's already going to be miserable. So,
right.
Yeah. If you're thinking about the finish line that the whole time, it's like anywhere from 8 as an elite athlete to 17 hours of wishing you were somewhere where you're not. Mm-hmm. So instead, just bringing yourself back to, okay, I'm right here right now. What's in my control? What can I do? I have some things in my life to be proud of, so I can build on that. And, here's where I want to go. What can I do to take me one step closer? I think that's my best advice in that one.
I think what I would add to that, because I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. And I had never read Goggins stuff because, like, I don't know, man, at a certain point, I got kind of sick of like Navy SEAL being the like level you need to be able to publish a self-help book. It's like, wait, so if I go to Buds, then I get a book deal? Is this how this works? Like,
dude, I saw a great
you got
meme.
To graduate books.
I saw a great meme where some SEAL is holding his buddy who's dying. He's like, don't worry, man, this is going to be a great chapter in my book.
Exactly. Like, like I thought the radio recon shit I did was tough. And it's like, it's not SEALs, man. You're not a SEAL. Or to quote some chick behind me in the coffee house, that closed one that I was telling you about at Lejeune, the one that closed. She's like, it said radio reconnaissance, and it had like this Russian, Spanish, it's just like Ruski, Espanol, and then it like did it whatever. It was like, but it looks like the recon logo.
Yeah.
And I heard her whisper to a friend, he's not real recon. He's radio recon. So sorry, I can't answer your question because I wasn't a SEAL or a real recon. No,
exactly.
It's like the one thing I would say, especially since you're 39, and I don't know if you noticed this, Mike, but I'm feeling it from like I seriously, Saturday I ran less than 2 miles, and yesterday I ran less than 2 miles, and then on Sunday, so I'm skipping order here, but like 3 days in a row of exercise. But like my kid wasn't sleeping, and it was a nice day outside. So I was like, dude, I'm just going to take him for a walk. And I tried to hit zone 2. So I took my Garmin and threw it on to just track it. And I will tell you that the thing that you cannot expect is that resistance will feel the same as it did when you were younger. So like, don't expect results. Like, yes, maybe at one point in your life, you could do 20 pull-ups with a 45-pound, what do you call it, plate hanging from your waist.
Yeah.
But you still have to be happy if you're nearing 40 and can do 5 pull-ups.
Right. Right.
And if you think about it, with a lot of us, we already have that extra 45 pounds kind of built in right now.
Good point, man.
So that's the thing. Like I'm telling you, like, and this is even a couple of years ago, because I've been on and off. I haven't ran races, but I've still been training and then like let it slack and then come back. And same with eating. But like my feet and my like these like overuse old man injuries, to quote the Dolphins coach when he's talking about Wes Welker.
Yeah.
Like, like, you know, they happen. So like, I'm kind of ashamed to say like my calves are sore right now, and I have put in an aggregate like less than 10 miles since Saturday, you know, but you just got to kind of deal with it and not expect it'll get better, but you can't expect that immediate kind of like I don't know if you're talking about your brain, it would be neuroplasticity, but I don't know what you would call that with muscles.
Welcome back to Getting Old with Rich and Mike.
Yeah, this is what it feels like to get old, guys.
I think so. There's something that Tony Robbins does, and disclaimer, I think he's pretty much a cult leader, but there's one thing he does that I really like and get excited, like excited about when you make those changes. Like when I don't eat red vines and I pass them up in the store, give myself like, fuck yeah,
Yeah.
Yes. And, even if it's false motivation, you start getting more excited about it. Yeah.
That's cool.
I didn't do that thing I'm going to regret. Yes.
Yeah. Like I didn't go buy a fucking liter of, I don't know, vodka. Like, yeah, I got that. Do you have any milestone weights that you look at? And then I'll give mine and why. And at 5'9", 200, you're probably not a fat ass, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah. I think I'd like to be like 185 is a weight, like BMI wise, that I like to be at. I think at my slimmest, I was like in my adult age, I was like 172 in the peak of Ironman training. And so that's something I had to let go of in terms of it's that or nothing. Because it took an insane amount of effort to get there.
You have an extra kid now, right? Like, yeah. I mean, you got, yeah.
Man. So it's, right now it's just the 200 mark. It's just, cause we're a base 10 mathematical society. So, getting under that 200 pound mark.
Right.
I think that's the big thing for me. So working towards that.
Yeah, that makes sense. So on my end, the fattest I've ever been, which was what caused me to decide to start training and try and eat better, and ended up joining up the podcast with you, is I at one point hit 230.
Yes.
And the thing is, dude, I'm telling you, when I look in the mirror, I don't know. I definitely see like, okay, I see a spare tire there. I'm not saying that I'm not like I'm looking in the mirror being like, oh, fuck, Schwarzenegger Jr. here.
Yeah, look at my muscles.
Who thought I was Richard III? I'm on it the second. No, it's nothing like that. But it's like, dude, I just don't see it until I see myself in like a picture or a video.
Yeah.
And then it's not that it adds 10 pounds. That's how other people see you. It's just that your confidence level doesn't really acknowledge that. Like, and I swear, this was last semester. I was in this management and leadership psychology class, and we had this old school Estonian professor of like organizational behavior or psychology or something like that. And she put on the screen, and we're doing these hybrid classes. It's a really weird thing. But she, like, we had to go give, like, this other American and me who are in the same PhD program, were going to kind of like do an assignment for the class that we had to summarize or whatever. And then we had to leave to go pitch this company that I'm trying to get together, right? That we're trying to get together.
Yeah.
So, but the thing was, is she had this like little tiny camera that's like an iPhone camera is nicer. It's just like this little square thing. And she turned it, and everyone who was on the stream was looking at us, and we could see ourselves from the side view on the overhead projector. So like I stand 5'7". I looked like 6'3" of just, and I was sitting with just jelly. I was just like, that's what I look like.
Yeah.
And that was at like maybe 120 I got up to this year. In 2019, by just going keto for a little bit, I got back down below 180. So like I look at 200 as a big deal. When I'm in my best lifting shape, it's somewhere around like 181, 182.
Yeah.
And when I'm like a decent runner, or at least when I was at Marine Corps style weight, it's like 171, 172. I'm sure if I wanted to be a good triathlete, I'd probably be somewhere around 160. But for me, you know, if I'm just
if triathlon's not the main focus of your life, it's
yeah, or even running, like just any endurance sport, you know, like I'm already small and I'm kind of built like wide. Like when I was in the I had for a few years of my life had to buy the top and the bottom. Like I had to buy suits separately.
I see.
Or have them tailored because I was more than 8-inch
dude,
difference between.
I don't want that little kind of bird body of a, you know, endurance runner.
Yeah.
You know, so my natural body type is probably halfway in between like lifter, you know, power lifter and endurance person. So I can
so you're fine worlds. Being at that's, and I think that's actually, I mean, what do you need to be able to do? You need to be able to get stuff done around your house, carry your kids around, right? Like live a healthy life. So you can't be like road marathoner, like it's the road marathoners and the Iron Man, like the people who are professional Ironman athletes are like,
I don't want to be able to run a 2:10 marathon, but then not be able to pick up my suitcase, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's, I guess, balance in all things, right? Which is something we all struggle. At least I do. I don't know if you're out there and you don't struggle with balance. And I mean, figurative or metaphorical balance. Yeah. Feel free to give us a call. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know your secret.
I'm not talking about like if you can do the swan kick, then hey, good job, buddy. That's cool. Tell me how high you can get and don't pull a hamstring because we're all getting old.
Getting old, my man. Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Dude, this has been fun.
This has been fun today, dude. I'm glad we finally caught up. And
me too.
Guys, we're going to have episodes on a more regular basis. So look forward to that. Yeah,
dude, this has been good. Blake, thanks for the email, man. I'm glad we're not faking Chuck Knobloch shit.
Chuck Knobloch a shout out in like our second episode. Yeah.
He's like on a yacht somewhere, I'm sure. Like,
yeah, for all Yankees 5 money, listeners who actually understand the early 90s Twins.
Who remember? Yeah, exactly. Dude, I can't believe. So the Warriors are in San Francisco.
Yeah.
The A's are going to go to Vegas.
I think so. Yeah, the Raiders and Warriors have left. Now they're just waiting on the A's. So, oh well, man.
Dude,
that is what it is.
Yeah,
this sucks. Oakland will just be a cheap airport city, and that's all.
And a place where like overflow gentrification, right? I guess from San Francisco. Is that still happening, or did that stop with the pandemic?
Dude, it's happening everywhere, man. It's happening all the way up in like Ukiah and other places where people are moving out of San Francisco. So,
oh wow,
but that's for another episode.
Austin,
yeah, no shit.
All right, hey, this has been fun.
It's been fun. Let me see if Bruno wants to say hello.
Bruno, what's up?
All right, man. Until then, drink water,
meditate.
Kill bodies.
Yeah, kill bodies.
Especially if they're
Russian. If you're in Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah, kill bodies, Ukrainians. Fucking light them up.
Got this.
All right, everyone. That'll do it for this week of Transitions for More. Go ahead and subscribe to the show. Follow it. Find us on Facebook, Instagram. You can email me, mike@transitionsformore.com with any questions or ideas for the show. And please send the show to people you know who might need to listen to it. Leave us a rating and review on iTunes if you get a chance. And just thanks for listening. All right, everyone. See you next week. Bye-bye.